Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today we're starting some seeds. Okay everyone, so I have a seed haul. So I mean, it's not like a big seed haul, but it's a pretty decent amount, you know. I have a small space garden, so it's fine, But I got a couple of seeds from Baker Creek, and then I also got some from Whole Foods that I am going to start and get in my garden. So some of them I'm starting them actually just in the garden, just dropping a seed in there. Some of them I'm starting in my Jiffy Peed Pod tray, I think is what it's called. And then the other ones I am actually going to soak in some water before starting them outside. So we're going to talk about which seeds I'm starting and then what I'm doing to which ones or which of them. So first we will start with Baker Creek. So Baker Creek is doing this pretty cool thing, guys, to where they will send you a free seed packet. So whatever you order, you'll get a random free seed, and you don't know what it is, but it's pretty cool and it's free. So I got some of these are going to be for the fall. Since there was like seed shortages and different things like that, I wanted to make sure that I had the seeds that I was missing so that my fall garden, which is Arizona's time to shine, like that is our time, I want to make sure my fall garden is packed full of everything that it needs. So it's a mixture of seeds for my fall garden and that I'm not going to be starting, and then stuff for my monsoon garden, which if you guys don't know, we're hitting monsoon season, so bring on the rains and the up and down temperatures that are going to be actually pretty good for growing things. So it's a mixture of me starting those and saving some seeds for the fall. So for the fall, I have bok choy, which is this one. And then now for the monsoon garden, you can plant long beans. Now I have a chart here that I will link down below, but basically it's just the urbanfarmer.org, I believe. Yes, urbanfarmer.org. You click under freebies and you'll find this chart. This is for Arizona. So if you guys live in another state that's outside of Arizona, I'm not really sure where you look. Usually you should be able to Google it and find just a planting calendar, but this one is for Arizona, so it'll be linked down below. But it says that yard long beans grow really well. So my bush beans have all kind of been done, and it's too hot for them. So I'm gonna try these. So these are Chinese red noodle beans. And it says on here that the ideal temperature for planting these is 75 to 95 degrees. And to that I say, bring it. Let's go. Let's see how you do, because it's 107. So you should grow really fast Chinese red long noodle beans. So these I'm excited about planting. My free seed was a Paris Island lettuce. So I'm going to obviously save this one for the fall. And then from my seeds that I got from Whole Foods, I have a tasty green cucumber that I am going to plant right now. It doesn't give me temperatures, but I know cucumbers will do, oh yeah, nope, it says ideal 70 to 90 degrees. We'll be testing this. We'll be testing this. I am actually planting a giant jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, guys. This is gonna be fun. It's going next to my corn, and this one's 70 to 90 degrees too. And then I have some lettuce leaf basil. Now the lettuce leaf basil I'm gonna start inside. This one is ideal from 65 to 85 degrees, and basil does well in the summer, but I like to get my basil going, so when I plant it outside, it actually is like stronger, and because, you know, I like basil and so do other things like basil too as well. So I like to have it to where it has a bunch of leaves on it. So that one will go in the inside pile. And then I have some Royal Burgundy bush beans that these ones say they go from 70 degrees to 85 degrees. And I think that I'm gonna find a place that is a little bit dimmer in my garden, maybe along where I'm planting the black eyed peas, and put those in there and see if they'll survive. So that's the seeds that I have from my seed haul. So now let's get going with how we're gonna put them all together and get them growing. Okay, so we are going to actually start with soaking some beans. Now the black-eyed peas and actually the yard-long beans are amongst the cowpea family, and I love this community of gardeners, guys, because when I said that I wanted to grow black-eyed peas, I got all these suggestions on how to go about doing that. And what everybody told me was to make sure that I soak the beans first. And then the same things with the yard-long beans, it actually says on the back of the package from Baker Creek to soak the beans. So I'm gonna start off, these ones are going on my trellis or my red scarlet runner beans were. So I want to have at least maybe 6. So I'm going to soak 8 beans. So we're just going to, I already have water in these little cups, guys. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it says to soak them overnight. So I put it to where there's about like 1/4 of a cup of water in there. And we're gonna soak those overnight. Now for my black-eyed peas, I feel like I'm gonna need a lot of those. And I'm putting this in the bed where my Swiss chard, which I've been taking out and using the Swiss chard for worm food. So I've been burying it into my garden bed that's not connected to my worm bin, and then also some of the pots. And then I've been using a couple of the other ones in the kale, because I pulled the kale too. So I've been using that in the worm bin too as well. So I'm gonna take about maybe 20 of these and put them in water. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. We'll do 24 just in case 2 of them don't, or 4 of them don't sprout. So I am going to just sit these on the countertop and I'm gonna let these soak. Okay, so we have those soaking. Actually reading this Royal Burgundy bush beans on the back of the packet, guys, it says that once temperatures are consistently over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the beans will not form. So I am not going to waste these because it's 107 and it's only gonna get hotter, and I'm gonna save these for my fall crop. Now in the what I'm planting directly into the beds are going to be my pumpkins. One of the things that I did, if you guys watched my last video, is I went through and I decided where I wanted to plant things, and then I went to the AZ Worm Farm, got a bunch of compost, and I've piled the compost and kind of raised the soil levels on a lot of the beds and pulled certain things that I didn't need anymore. And I've been letting that compost kind of sit because I like to kind of let, you know, the organisms that are in the compost kind of acclimate to their new environment, which is my garden, before putting another seed in there and kind of making it, you know, do extra work. I don't know if you need to do that. I just do it because I feel like it should be done. So the next thing I'm also planting directly are the tasty green cucumbers. And then I grabbed some Aunt Molly's ground cherries. I burned up my 2 really beautiful ground cherry plants. So I am actually going to be replanting these ones outside, and I'm just gonna plant them directly into the pots. And then also one of my amazing subscribers, Miss Marlene, sent me some acorn squash seeds. So these are gonna go where the other squash was by the worm bin. So I'm gonna plant maybe 4 of these into the ground and then prune it back to 2, or thin it back to 2 once they start coming up. Now to start the ones in the peat pods, I went and I heated a bowl of water. Also, I wanted to mention that I'm going to drop a seed of squash, one of the straight necks, into the ground where one of the squash that it's not really producing anything like a lot like the straight neck was, so I'm gonna pull that one and pop that one in the ground. So in the peat pods, I am going to be starting the lettuce leaf basil, and then I'm also going to start my cherry tomatoes. I'm not going to use this whole thing, so I'm only going to take out a couple and start those. And then as the month goes on, I'm going to be starting more seeds, but I want to kind of time things out to where I can put them in my garden when things are ready and when the temperature is at the appropriate time. So when I'm doing this, now it came with the peat pods in here. And these ones are the large ones because I want to be able to hold them for a little bit longer inside and kind of transition them out so that I can give my garden more time to free up some more space. Now it did come with this thing called Super Thrive. It doesn't actually say what's in it. It doesn't say anything about it being organic. It wants me to add it to the water, but I'm gonna go with no, because I don't like just putting anything into my garden. So I will eventually, once the plants get their true leaves, I will add some fish fertilizer to their water and put a little bit of that inside of the water when I start transitioning them outside. So that'll give it the fertilizer that it needs. Now, Home Depot has a record of having things in like fungus nets in their like potting mixes and different things like that. So one of the things that I like to do is drop these into hot water. Now, even when I just have the potting soil or the seed start mix that is in the bag, I still mix it in hot water in order to kill any of the fungus nets that might be in there. So for all of these other ones, I'm gonna take out because I don't want to waste these ones, because right now they're kind of a hot commodity to find. So I don't wanna waste them, so I'm gonna take them all out and then use those later on this month and next month. So we're gonna let these soak, and then I'm going to come back once they're ready to go in here. Okay, so I now have little puffy pods, and it also came with some sticks to be able to write what I'm doing on here. So I'm only going to use 2 of these, because 3 of these I'm going to use for basil, and then 1 I'm going to use for the Texas wild cherry. So I'm going to put those on here. So if you guys watched my last video a while back when I was planting in my spring garden, I totally didn't label anything, and I decided to write it on a piece of paper, but somehow it got mixed up. So last spring, my garden was a bit of a surprise. It was kind of like, oh, we're gonna wait and see what fruits and see what grows, and it was kind of like nothing was where I thought it was supposed to be. So this time, I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna mark everything. Okay. So all I'm gonna do now, I took out the other ones because, like I said, I'm gonna be adding to this tray as the rest of the month goes on, and also into July, because this tray is going to be what I'm gonna be using for my monsoon garden, and then also for my fall garden, which we're almost there, Arizonans, we're almost there. We do have to get through August, but we're close. So it goes into a really big puffy pod, and I'm gonna put that just right in here. See if I can tilt the camera down for you guys. There we go. So I'm just gonna stick these in a row because I don't want to have to use all of my lights at the same time. So then I can just focus the lights right here on these. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a chopstick and I'm gonna open them up, and I'm gonna just kind of fluff the top of the soil because it's been compacted in there. So when it comes to the seeds, these are gonna be pretty small seeds, guys, so I'm not gonna plant them super deep into the little pods. I'm actually just gonna put it at the top. So we're gonna open it up here. And I'm going to put at least 3 seeds into my basil one. Just make sure they're not going too deep, because I can always thin these out, guys, if I have too many, but this will kind of ensure germination and that I'm not wasting one of my little pods in here. So I have that going. And then in my last one, now these are seeds that I got from the library. If you guys haven't seen my video on how to get free seeds, I will link that down below, but you can get free seeds from your local library and they will give you enough seeds to where that you can do whatever you need to do with them. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to take 2 of them because once again I can thin them out or just separate them and have 2 plants if they both germinate. And so then I'm just going to cover the tops of these because all of these were pretty small seeds. So I'm just going to cover the tops. And that's all I do. Okay, so now I'm going to take these 4. I'm going to put my labels in them so I don't forget. And then I'm just going to put them in my little grow light section and let these grow. And then the other ones tomorrow morning, I'm going to put all of those into the ground when it's in the beginning of the day. I don't like to plant seeds in the heat of the day because I feel like the ground's too hot, it's too hot, I don't want to be out there. Pretty sure the seeds don't want to be out there getting planted when it's that hot. But first thing in the morning, I'm going to plant those, and these ones are going underneath the grow lights. So I hope you guys are starting your monsoon gardens for everybody that's in Arizona, because monsoon season is going to be a great season to get some extra crops in there, and then also start thinking about your fall planting season. Even for those of you guys that are not in Arizona, you can start thinking about what you want to plant for the fall. And if you need to get more seeds, I would get them now, because if it's like it was last time, it's going to be a rush to getting all the seeds that you need. And like I said, Baker Creek has a special thing where they give you a free seed if you order something, so that's kind of cool. But until next time, make sure you guys are growing a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.